Welcome to Football with Cheese. In today's video, we're going to go over Russell Wilson, Stefon Diggs, and maybe a little Aaron Rodgers at the end. So make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a video, and turn on that bell for notifications as well. But before we get started, I heard like the best football joke ever, so I wanted to share it with you. Why did the NFL GM have to go to the bank? Because he really needed a quarterback. Boom. I can feel all of you laughing out loud uncontrollably. You're welcome. I'm about to double my subscribers with that joke alone. Come for the content, stay for the comic relief. On to Russell Wilson. So the Giants have signed him to a one-year deal worth $10.5 million up to $21 million. This tells me two things. Well, really three things, actually. One, Aaron Rodgers is not interested in the Giants, obviously, and they assume he's going to Pittsburgh. More on that later. Two, it tells me that the Giants do not think that Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders will be there at 3. That they think the first 2 picks in the draft will be Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, even if the Titans and Browns aren't the ones making that pick. And the third thing it tells me is that Joe Schoen is trying to win as many games this year to not get fired, and probably hurting his team in the long run in doing that. Let me explain. The Giants are not going to be a contender next year, even with Russell Wilson. Very unlikely to make the playoffs. They're still the worst team in the division, I think. Definitely worse than Philadelphia or Washington. That's obvious. I think they're still worse than the Dallas Cowboys. Someone might debate that maybe they're as good. But the Giants really should focus on 2026 to 29 and should try to trade down and get picks next year, which a much better quarterback class. And what this will do is Russell Wilson's good enough to probably win them 6, 7, or 8 games. And that might take them out of a top 10 pick. It might take them out the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks. I know it sucks losing, but the Giants should stink next year. The Jets, the Saints, teams that need quarterbacks, stink next year. See if you can pick in the top 3. Maybe you get the first pick. Because it's not about winning now. It's about setting yourself up. Let me give you an example. In 1997, the Colts stunk, and it's a good thing they did. Because in 1998, they drafted Peyton Manning first overall. The Bengals got Joe Burrow first overall because they stunk. Those 2 draft picks completely changed the franchise going forward. Colts won a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. Bengals have been to one. They didn't win it. Almost did. But it helps nothing picking 11th, 12th, 13th, or 14th every year. If you pick 12th every year, 14th every year, you're going to pick 12th or 14th every year because you're not going to get a top quarterback. You might get lucky. Someone might fall like an Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love. That's rare. But that's not a guarantee either because a lot of quarterbacks that fell in the draft fell for a reason. My advice to teams that need a quarterback, don't draft one this year. Try to load up on picks next year and just have a lost season. Don't try to lose, but don't sign veterans that will help you win 6, 7, 8 games. Going 8-9 for a team that needs a quarterback is the worst possible thing you can do for your franchise. Because very likely you're not going to have a good quarterback picking 14th. They added Jameis Winston as well, gave him backup money. So the fact that they have 3 quarterbacks under contract, they also have Tommy DeVito as their 3rd string, means the Giants are very unlikely to take a quarterback. People on TV, ESPN, NFL Network are going to say, oh, the Giants still could take a quarterback in the first couple rounds. I doubt it. Who knows? But I doubt it. With these signings, probably not selecting a quarterback. If they do, it'll be late in the draft, maybe a developmental guy. So let's talk about Stefon Diggs. The Patriots gave him 3 years, $69 million. I don't know the details of the contract. I hope for their sake they can get out of it after 1 or 2 years. I would not have done this. Here's why the Patriots did this. They wanted a veteran receiver for the young quarterback Drake May. I get that. He does need a veteran receiver. They tried to sign Chris Godwin, offered more money allegedly than the Buccaneers, a lot more money if you believe the reports. But Godwin wanted to stay in Tampa, and I get that. So They needed to surround Drake May with more talent because he had the worst receiving core in the NFL last year. But Stefon Diggs is not the veteran guy I would want. He's been traded twice. Really good players don't keep getting traded. Laremy Tunsil's been traded twice. So that is a red flag. The rumors are both Tunsil and Diggs are not great locker room guys. Not great teammates. I'm not in that locker room, so I don't know for sure. That's just the rumor. But the Bills just wanted him out of the building and needed receiver help last year. And they were a contender. That tells me a lot. I remember when the Vikings drafted him. The rumor was he was going third or fourth round because of some character concerns, not getting arrested, but more locker room concerns, like we just talked about. So Minnesota made a good pick in the fourth round. He's been a really good player. He's not quite the player he used to be. There's been some decline in his game, and he got hurt last year. So I get it from the Patriots' perspective. This is just not what I would have done, but they had to get a veteran receiver in there, and he was probably the best one available. I would put him ahead of Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen, players like that as far as just on-field talent at this point in their career. So I hope the Patriots structure it where they can get out of it, because it has a chance to be a disaster in the locker room, especially if they're not winning. Players like that, the more you win, the better off they behave typically. But when you're losing, that's when it could be a total disaster. And finally, Aaron Rodgers obviously met with the Steelers. We talked about it. Apparently the meeting went well. One thing about this situation that annoys me is all these people out there, including Cameron Hayward, the defensive lineman for Pittsburgh, who has backed off a little bit. But they're saying that Aaron, if he just wants to be a Steeler, he'd be a Steeler. Why hasn't he signed yet? He doesn't have to sign yet. He can take his time. Pittsburgh's options are sign Aaron Rodgers or draft a quarterback. The draft is a month away. So he has a few weeks. Let him take his time. If he doesn't really want to play football anymore, then he can retire. You don't want to force him to sign and then a few weeks later, oh, you know what? I don't really want to play football anymore. Let Aaron take his time. Make sure he wants to play. Make sure he wants to be a Steeler. And if not, they can draft a quarterback. And if he does, then sign him. I do think he has to decide before the draft. If I was Pittsburgh, I would give him a soft deadline, like a week or two before the draft. Please let us know, what you're thinking, where your head's at. So, anyway, they could draft a quarterback even if they sign Rodgers. I think they will draft one. How high? I'm not sure. They should not take one with the 21st pick because then they'd be reaching. More on the quarterbacks later. More than likely, they'll use a third, fourth, or fifth round pick on a developmental guy. And I'll go over those in a later video. So make sure you are subscribed and hit the bell for notification. Like this video. I have so many more draft videos coming. I really enjoy those. I love doing the Tedero McMillan breakdown. That was a lot of fun to watch his film and research. I'll link it right here. So share this video. Anyone who loves football. And I will see you in the next video.